right next to CB West, kind of diagonally across from Doylestown Hospital. But we're just here because we love what we do. It's kind of weird when you tell people you stick needles into people for a living and they actually pay you for it, right? But there's a remarkable thing that happens when you get acupuncture. Just so we start with the basics, what is acupuncture? It's when you take these sterile, solid stainless steel needles and you put them in specific spots in the body. And Misuk and I can attest to you, we spend a whole year learning where all these points are. Acupuncture actually requires you to have a 3-year bachelor's degree. So you spend a year studying where these points are. The second year is basically what do these points do? And then the third year is how to combine them, and actually you get to practice on the public. And so you go through a clinical internship, you take board exams. It's a lot of preparation to establish trust and be able to put needles into people to help them feel better. But acupuncture is in this whole category of traditional Chinese medicine. And I'm actually going to refer to it as TCM, just to keep it short. And acupuncture works in conjunction with herbal medicine. That's another field within the field of traditional Chinese medicine. And it's more than just needles. I know people are really scared about needles. I just brought some of these just so you can see like how small and how thin they are. They come in these blister backs of 10 sometimes, and they'll come around your room. They're as thin as your hair. They're really thin. I'm not injecting anything. A lot of people are scared of needles because they only associate needles with flu shots, and those can be painful. Like I'm sore for 3 days after a flu shot. I'm not putting anything into your body. I'm just putting them in specific spots, a lot of times near nerve endings, so that I can stimulate your nervous system. And your nervous system does so many remarkable things, which we'll get to. But yeah, they're, as you can see, they're very small, they're very thin, and in those blister packs, they're sterile, so they're completely clean. And then once I use them, once I touch them, or they go into your body, they go right into a biohazard container. So they're never used again. You don't wash them. We don't try to sterilize them again. They're single use. So how does acupuncture work? From a traditional Chinese medicine standpoint, it balances qi. And qi, some people like to equate this to, if any of you are Star Wars fans, right? There's an expression, the force is with you, right? The force is strong with this one. Kind of like qi. And George Lucas actually said that he based the force on how qi moves in the body, right? Because we're all born with the amount of qi. And it's invisible, but we know it's there because it moves with the blood and the oxygen in your body. And so qi should move freely if you're healthy. But whenever it's stuck or it's not flowing, you're going to experience pain. You're going to experience an imbalance in the body that causes you not able to sleep at night. You might have digestive discomfort. You might have diarrhea, constipation. Some women get hot flashes and night sweats when they go through menopause. There's a whole list of things. When qi isn't working, your body isn't working, and your body's telling you need to do something about it. So acupuncture can help. From a Western standpoint, acupuncture actually stimulates it activates the nervous system. Anytime I put a needle in your body, it sends a signal to your brain. Your brain's like, this isn't supposed to be here. This is a foreign object. It's in the body. The brain automatically sends blood to that spot where I put the needle, and it actually helps promote blood flow. It's going to reduce inflammation. It's going to help with your immune system when it's reducing inflammation. You're actually going to feel good. And I know that sounds really counterintuitive because we have so many negative associations with needles, like flu shots, immunizations, any kind of shots that you're getting. But those are all when something's being injected in you. I'm not injecting anything. I'm actually just trying to help whatever's inside of you move better with these needles. Also, it's going to enhance the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is the part of the body that just is responsible for you to rest and digest. Things that you don't have to think about. So acupuncture is able to do that. And how many of you have back pain? I have back pain. I've had back pain for 2 years now. How many of you have like neck strain, or you're in front of a computer? Yeah. Or if you do the same thing over and over again, you might be at a desk, you might be where I Fred Beans, you might be fixing cars. If you do the same thing over and over again and you're hunched over, you can cause repetitive stress in your body. So pain is the number one thing that we actually treat at Bridge. Everybody hurts somehow, whether it's migraine headaches, whether it's elbow pain. Some people, they get injured playing, being weekend warriors. They're working out or they're playing with their kids. And what they were able to do at 20, they can't do when they're 45. Like they throw a ball and then suddenly they pull their shoulder. Or like my husband, I'm sorry to embarrass him, but he said I could always use him as an excuse. He was getting out of his car. Okay, nothing, just he was getting out of his car, and it was a sedan at the time, and it was lower than you normally would sit. He was getting out of his car. He strains his back. Okay, and the man was in pain for 2 days. He could not work. It's really sad because he jokes this is a testament of his health, but it's you get hurt from just like the simplest things, and we can kind of help with that. But yeah, so we can help with many of these things. I work personally with a lot of women who are going through menopause, even perimenopause, which I'm going through myself. But women have hot flashes and night sweats. They might have difficulty sleeping, and those are all things that we can help with acupuncture. I always tell my patients, if I can get you to eat, sleep, poop, and move, I've done 80% of my job, right? Those are the most important things. If you can't do that stuff, nothing else matters, okay? Eat, sleep, poop, and move. I want to help your appetite. I want to help with your movement. At some point when you hit middle age, it's not about having Beachbody 2025. It's about not falling. Actually, if you fall, you want to fall well, because if you break your hip or your knee, you're going to be immobilized for almost a year. So that's just the reality of the life that we're living, and I just want to help people live their best lives. So this presentation is going to actually focus on a couple of things. I gave you a brief intro about acupuncture, but we're also going to be talking about the detoxification that can happen with acupuncture. So, and Nisuk is going to lead in that presentation, and then I'll kind of finish us off with some digestion, like how acupuncture can help with your digestion. So, and here we'll go.
Before I start my presentation, can I learn something about cars? What is your recommendation for maintenance, good car care? Give me 3 tips.
Change your oil, rotate your tires.
Change oil. Yeah, I will write it down. Change oil, right? And rotate your tires.
Yep.
Yeah.
Simple.
And another one? Change oil, rotate the tire.
Listen to your service recommendation.
Oh, great. Yeah, right. Thank you so much. I want to learn something. So I want to learn toxins and the body's detoxification function. So what's the toxin? Look at this car. It's not my car. Sorry. So what's the toxin? It's a harmful substance that disturbs normal body functions. So I want to help your understanding. I want to talk about a car versus our body. So there is 2 kinds of toxins. One is internal, the other one is external. So external toxins for car, what can it be? Like something mud or something bird poofs, leaves on your windshield. You need to remove it, right? And some things like pins and nails on your tire, you need to remove it. And something what's other stuff? I don't know. Yeah, after snow, there's a lot of salt on the road, and the salt are clustered in the exterior of your car. We need to remove it for running our car properly. So that kind of stuff is external toxins, and internal toxin is more related to the engines. We need to take care of the sludges in emission and the fuel efficiency. The same thing happened to our body. Internal toxin is related to something like we feel tired always. We feel heavy. That's related to internal toxin, especially digestion system. And external toxin is always changing, because our environment changes so much. So think about 100 years ago, we don't use a lot of chemicals like plastics, right? So plastics is everywhere, right? So our environment to change the external toxins are changed. So we need to learn what is external toxins. Okay. So why detoxification matters? Because if we don't do any detoxification, there is a buildup of harmful material in our system. So we need to prevent the buildup of harmful substances, and we need to enhance our energy, our immune, and our health. And then we want to reduce chronic disease chance, right? So right now, we live our 100. For me, I'm 60. So I want to live another 40 years. So I want a quality of life. I want a healthy life. I don't want to sick, right? So that's why detoxification is really matters. And how to remove toxins and develop detoxification systems. There's two ways. External toxins, you need to know what is toxin, because it changes, it's constantly changing because of the environment changing. So we need to learn what is external toxins and we need to avoid it. And external toxins, we need to understand what is body physiology. So there is a two-way. External toxins we need to avoid. Internal toxins we need to boost our organ function. Okay? So let's see the more details about toxins. So there's a two types of toxins. One is endogenous, the other one is endogenous. Endogenous is more internal toxin. So it's kind of cellular waste, metabolic byproducts, and hormones. So it's we need to understand some physiology things. It's a lot. So I want to more focus on the exogenous toxins, which is heavy metal, herbicide. It's a kind of weed killer. And then endocrine disruptors. It's a chemicals like plastics and advanced glycate end products. It's related to our aging and then medication, right? So let's see the more details. Heavy metals. There's a lot of heavy metals like lead or cobalt, but I just pick only two, mercury and arsenic. Mercury, if you have a dental amalgam, mercury is released because amalgam is made of mercury. So if you have any amalgam in your teeth, please remove it. And some big fish like tuna, swordfish, and mackerel, if you eat too much, it's accumulate your mercury in your system. If you eat sometimes, it's okay. But the mercury is a neurotoxic, which means it affects the whole body, especially someone who has a pregnant woman. They affect the developing fetus. So mercury is really harmful for pregnant women. And arsenic, it's a disrupt to cellular function and damage DNA. Rice has some arsenic, so you need to wash it thoroughly before cooking. Okay, and then herbicide. So herbicide is basically weed killer. So you know the Roundup. Have you ever heard about Roundup? So it's a really widely use it, but the company said it's okay for human beings because they kill all the plants basically using their plant enzyme system. So it's not harming for the human beings, they said. But the thing is, it affects our gut microbiome. And if we have a Roundup in our system, it affects our hormone. So there's a risk of, some research said there's a risk of cancer chance. So most of the country except the US, UK, Canada, they have some kind of bans, but there's no ban in here. So they use a lot of Roundup for feed or oat. Because before harvest, they put a lot of Roundup. So Roundup dry up all the weeds. So they can shorten the natural dry up period. So they can easily speed up. So they use a lot of glyphosate, and there's a possibility of residue may remain on the wheat grain itself. And then they make a flour and they make a bakery. So we can eat it. So it's one factor. And the other factor is GMO plants. GMO plant is not for human beings. It's for the animals, basically, because GMO is developed, the same company Roundup developed. So the GMO plants, another name is Roundup ready crops. So they use a lot of GMO and they can make a cheap crops. So they use a lot, so they contaminate the soil, air, and water. But the thing is, they use a lot, so there's a resistant wheat is coming up, and then cattle eats the GMO plants, and the cattle in their body it's accumulate, and then we eat the cattle, so it's not good for us. So we have to think about it. So I highly recommend eating organic flours and eating grass-fed meat, but it's difficult, right? Yeah. And then endocrine disruptors, which is chemicals that can interfere with the endocrine system in human, and it mimics natural hormones and bind to receptors and triggers false signals. So I just pick only 4 of them: BPA, paraben, phthalate, PFAS. BPA used so much. For example, receipt. So we use small receipt. Yeah. And BPA is well known, it's harmful. So I bring this can. They said it's a BPA free. But the problem is they use, instead of BPA, BPS or BPF. So BPS and BPF are brothers, right? So we don't know the harm because BPA is already studied a lot, the harmfully, but they don't know what is the effect of BPS and BPF. So even it is BPA free lining, we don't know. And then we use a lot of this kind of lining and we put hot water. And so it's not great. And then paraben is used for a lot of cosmetics like shampoos and lotions. It's preservatives. And phthalate is used for the fragrance, like something like a car diffuser. So it is chemically made aroma. That's phthalate are used, and PFAS is used for cooling pan. So I think cooling pan is okay. It's good, but if there's a scratches in the cooling pan, it is combined with the heat, and it releases really harmful substance. So if you have a cooling pan, if there's no scratch, it's okay. But if you have any scratch, just throw it out, right? And then PFAS is also used in the food lab. So I think it's okay if you wrapping food, cold food, but if you left the hot food, it's different story. So try to not use the microwave with the plastic container. Even the plastic container which has okay, so there's some plastic, it's okay, PP, something like that. But if there's a scratches in there, right? So in that case, we don't know what's going on, right? So try to use microwave with a glass or ceramic and try to contain your food. If it is hot food, try to use stainless steel. That's more safe, okay? And advanced glycated end products. They're the type of, not glycation, but I want to talk about glycation. Glycation is the thing, it's naturally occurred in our system. So glycation means glucose combined with the protein, something like that. So just imagine baby's skin, soft skin, and just imagine a 100-year-old guy's rough skin, right? So glycation is that kind of stuff. Just look at this bread. The outside of bread is a stiff, right? And then inside there's a soft. So glycation is a heat, accelerate combining glucose and protein. For example, our skin elastin and then collagen is a kind of protein. And if you have a diabetes issues, glucose combined, and it changes the character of collagen and then elastin. So it make a stiff. So it affects our vessels and our tissues, everything. So it's related to aging, and it's triggered by aging, smoking, diabetes, and inflammation, and so on. So it is accelerated by eating something roasted food, crispy and processed food, right? Grilled food and a lot of bakery. It accelerates the glycation. So be cautious about that food. And then medication. So I put these 5 of them, but I don't want to talk too much of that. I just want to talk about antibiotics and NSAIDs. Antibiotics, you need to use it when you need it, but the antibiotics kills good microbiome and bad microbiome at the same time. So if you use too much antibiotics, it harms the balance of good microbiome. So it's not good for your digestion system. And then NSAID is a painkiller. If you have a pain issue, it's widely used, right? So we can use a lot, but the problem is it can harm your kidney, but it also can harm your gut lining. So it can cause some ulcer issue. So it can cause some leaky gut issue, something like that. So antibiotics and NSAID is not great for your GI, okay? So I go over all the 5 external toxins. So what's that? The first one, heavy metal. The second one, glyphosate. The third one, plastics, all the plastics, right? And then the fourth one, what's that? AEGS, right? And then I talk about the medication, right? So it's all brand new. So we have to know what is that things, and we need to avoid them. For example, in here we can see these plastic bottles. So it's convenient, right? So it's everywhere, right? But for me, I personally use this kind of plastic bag, plastic bottle like a year ago. But I learned all these stuff, and I start changing, and I try to bring this kind of stuff and that kind of stuff, right? So just think about it. I have expensive cars, and there's a two loads. One load is locked. It's unpaved, and it's full of nails and danger. And the other load, but this load is a shortcut. And then there's the other load. There's a smooth. There's no danger. And if you have expensive cars, what load do you pick? What loads? Right? Smooth. Yeah. For me, definitely smooth. I don't want to take any danger to pick these dangerous ones. So try to be cautious what's our environment. Our environment changes. And I really focus on the chemicals, right? So it's easy because we use this kind of cups, but there's a lining, right? So it's okay if you put some cold water, but if you put hot water, and it's different story. And this kind of nanoplastics, we cannot see anything here, right? But the the thing is that there is a micro nanoplastics in here, and it is accumulated in our system, and it is really accumulated in our brain and artery, right? So it really matters, right? So I introduce all the 5. I just pick only 5, but there's more than 5, right? So and then let's talk about our detoxification organs. But I don't want to do too much because you eat, and I don't want to cause any stomachache because of too much information. So I want to just go overview of the briefly. There's 2 organs. the most important detoxification organ is liver, definitely, but there's a counterpart. It's a gallbladder. Gallbladder is under the liver, and it's helping the liver's function. And then I want to talk about gallbladder and liver, and then I want to talk about the intestine and stomach. Intestine and stomach is a pair, and gallbladder and liver is another pair. So I want to talk about liver because it's the master detoxifier, right? So liver is so important because it's like when you go to the airport before you take the plane, what do you go? What do you go?
The bar.
TSA. Oh, so you have to go to the TSA.
Oh, TSA.
So we need a security check because we don't bring anything danger to the plane, right? So it's a TSA is cleaning our body and our bellies. The same thing happens in the liver. So when we eat, so you guys all eat. So when we eat, the first thing is the stomach moving, and then intestine, and then all that intestine make all the nutrition, and it's sent to the liver. So liver is cleaning what's bad, what's good, and liver wanna detox everything, right? So and then liver sent to the heart, and then heart is a great pump in our system. Heart sends all the blood through all our body. So before go to the heart, all the nutrition go to the liver and check the security. Is it safe or not? So if you enjoy drinking too much, so liver have to work hard. So is it good idea drinking regularly or heavy drinking? Is it good or bad? You know the answer, right? And the other thing is the liver produce bile. So gallbladder is a bile pouch. So liver produce bile, gallbladder contain the bile, and it concentrates. So bile function is a breakdown fat into small one to help enzyme. So it's a kind of emulsify. So whenever you eat some oil, bile need to release by the gallbladder to the intestine. But if you have a so low fat diet, if you don't eat any fat, bile is not, there's no reason to release the bile. So bile is concentrated in the gallbladder and make a stone. So it causes problem, you know? So eating regularly some good oil is really important. You know what is good oil? Do you want to know? Want to know? So I will teach you what is good oil. A, avocado oil. B, butter or ghee butter. C, coconut oil. And O, olive oil. These five of them is good oil. But other oil like a vegetable oil, you can see in the market. So it's all bad oil. They are full of omega-6 and all that's bad oil. But we need to eat regularly good oil because if you don't eat oil, bile is not coming out. And when bile is coming out, they bind the fat soluble toxins and transfer into intestine. So all the toxins are screening, and there's a three ways toxins are processed. Water soluble toxins go to the blood and it's filtered by kidney. Fat soluble toxins are binding to bile and go to the intestine and then released by a stool. Okay? So fat soluble toxins are more difficult. They have to process a lot. And then if there's additional toxins are there, our fat store the toxin. So there's a three-way. One go to the kidney or urine or sweat. Water soluble, it's easier. But the fat soluble toxins it need to bind the bile to go to the intestine and go release to the stools. Okay, it's more difficult. So that's why the function of bile is so important for the fat soluble toxins. You understand? You guys understand? And then bile's another function is it maintains gut microbiome health. Okay, so let's go to the intestine because bile combine the fat soluble toxin go to the intestine, and then there's a two intestine. One is a small, the other one is a large. So the intestine's main function is a waste eliminator as a stool type and nutrition observers as a small intestine do that kind of stuff a lot. But the problem is if your gut is not healthy, if you have a constipation, it's not going out as a stool. It stays there. And then it reabsorbed by using intrahepatic circulation, which means it's a recycling system of our body. So it's absorbed to the toxin is absorbed to our system and it goes to the liver again. So bile health is so important, but there's a lot of gut problem is so important. So, but there's a lot of gut problem there because of the stomach problem. We have a team, and if you have a boss who is a lazy boss and who don't talk you all stuff to you, and in that case, how do you feel? You are tired. You cannot do because of the boss. So do you have that kind of boss? So stomach is the boss to intestine. So if stomach is lazy, if your stomach is not working properly, it dumps up all the work to the intestine. So intestine is overburdened. So stomach function is so important. Stomach acid is need to be very strong because it's the first defense line. It kills all the harmful bacteria and pathogen. If your stomach is not doing that job, it causes SIBO. You know SIBO? SIBO is a small intestine SIBO, bacteria increasing, right? Yeah. So if you don't kill all the pathogen in your stomach, it affects your small intestine, and it also affects the large intestine. And if you control your food release stomach good enough, like if your stomach have to work like 3-4 hours or the first digestion. But if you are not doing that thing, then release to the intestine, your intestine gut has so many problems. So teamwork is important, right? Gut and stomach, it's the same line. So you need to take care of your stomach first, your stomach acidity first, because the acidity, if you have enough acidity, it sends a signal to your small intestine. Give me enzyme like that. So for detoxification, there's no one organ is important. Or liver, gallbladder, stomach, intestine, all importance. So I really go over this a lot of information. How was that? Do you guys?
Still going to the bar first. Planes flying.
So there's other detoxification system. I don't want to mention it. There's a kidney, lung, skin, lymphatics. So there's others too. So I want to talk about acupuncture and detoxification. as Susie presented before, acupuncture is basically helping the circulation. We talk qi and blood circulation. I want to say lymphatic and blood circulation. So putting needles, acupuncture is basically helping circulation, and it helped the tune up. And I remember you guys said about oil change and tire. And what other things I forgot?
Listen, the recommendation.
Recommendation.
Yeah.
That's good. Recommendation. You need a good recommendation, right? So, and then the other thing is, when I start my treatment, I want to start with a small talk. Even I don't have a great language ability. I want to talk something with my patient, and I put the needles, and I feel like a patient feels calm and they relax. They don't want to talk to me. They want to relax. I'm amazed by the effect of relaxation, effect of acupuncture. So it balances the nerve system and it reduces stress level. And it also enhances the digestion and bowel movement. So the acupuncture is to stimulate and support body's detoxification system. So it is great investment of take care of yourself using acupuncture as I think. And I think you guys want to take care of your car because car is expensive. Car is essential for your transportation. But how about your body? Is it compared to car? Is the value of your body is compared to your body? Car? No. Yeah. So we will leave our 100. So I hope you guys have a great experience of acupuncture, and I hope you want to meet great acupuncturists. Okay. so let's go, Suji.
That's a tough act to follow.
Good luck.
Yeah, yeah. So as Misuk explained, acupuncture supports a healthy digestion, and it really does actually start the moment you put food in your mouth, digestion begins. Salivary glands get stimulated, moves down the esophagus, goes down to your stomach, and then through the liver, the small intestine, and the large intestine. So acupuncture, like we said, can support the rest and digest nervous system naturally. It can help. So if you have a stress, poor sleep, inflammation in your body, it's going to disrupt this process of your ability to get into this mode of relaxation and rejuvenation. Acupuncture can stimulate the nerves, connective tissues, and muscles. And research shows that acupuncture can increase the vagal nerve activity. The vagus nerve is actually the major nerve that runs from your brainstem, and then it actually goes through, it touches the heart and it goes to your stomach, and it actually hits a lot of organs. So if we can actually stimulate the vagus nerve, it can help your body be more regulated, more calm, be more zen. A lot of people actually experience what's called an acubuzz. Like when you're on the table, again, until you've experienced it, you don't know what I'm talking about. But when I put needles in your body, a lot of patients fall asleep, believe it or not. They get in such a state of relaxation. People are able to get like these power naps during their acupuncture session. And so much happens during your sleep. Your body gets restored. Things get repaired in your body. And even within your brain, your memories get stored into long-term memory, as well as anything that you don't really need your body gets rid of, so you're able to run more efficiently. Your brain's working better. You're able to think better, more clearly. And then acupuncture can help the gut, how the food moves through the intestines, and again, reduce inflammation and decrease your stress hormone levels. This is just another illustration, capping off how digestion helps. The spleen and stomach are responsible for transporting the food. The liver actually is responsible for moving the qi in your body, and the large intestine helps get rid of the waste that you don't need. And some of these things are common symptoms. I know a lot of you just had lunch. I don't know if some of you actually feel like tired after you eat lunch and you still have like 5 more hours to work and you're like, I'm so tired, I really would like a nap. That's because there's some kind of imbalance going on. You might have bloating or acid reflux. Some people, just have digestive discomfort, but we can help with that. And again, these are other symptoms that acupuncture can help with. We often say that the spleen is like your digestive fire in acupuncture. And if your spleen's too weak, the food isn't being cooked properly in your body, and acupuncture can help kind of stoke that fire and help things move along. So, have any of you had acupuncture at all? Oh, you have? Okay, great. Okay. So, at Bridge, what we do is when you first come for an acupuncture appointment, it's an hour and a half long. And I know that sounds like a long time, but before you come to the appointment, we send you some paperwork and it goes through your whole health history. You're going to have to list any accidents, any injuries. Have you had any surgeries? Do you take any medications? Any food sensitivities? Do you have any environmental allergies? It's any heart conditions. We go through every single system and we ask you to take the time to fill that out, because the more complete that is, when you meet with your acupuncturist, we ask you questions all about that. We spend a lot of time. It might take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes just talking about everything that's going on, because you might be coming for back pain, but how did that back pain start? You've lived a whole life until this back pain started, and all the things that happened in your life contribute to your well-being. So we want to know, do you have an old skiing injury where you fell and you collided into someone and you hurt your back? Were you rear-ended by somebody and that was beyond your control and you have whiplash, but you also have back pain from that? All those things factor in, because as people, we're more than the sum of our symptoms. We are complete people. A lot of you might be parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters. You have relationships that affect your well-being, and all of that factors in as well. So we're going to take your health history. We're going to talk to you. We're going to look also not only what you're coming in for, but what does your digestion look like? Do you have a bowel movement every day? Some people I've had, since being in this business, I've met people that don't go to the bathroom. They go to the bathroom once a week, which is really, and there's other people who go 3 times a day, so we have that extreme. How do you manage your stress? What does it look like? Does it keep you up at night because you're worried about work? You're worried about paying your bills. You're worried about, providing childcare for your children or your grandchildren. So we look at all this stuff, and then we actually also look at the tongue, your tongue. We ask you to stick out your tongue at us, and we look at that because your tongue actually gives us some information about what's going on in your body. The tongue takes a long time to change. And so we know what to look for at different parts of the tongue. We also feel your pulse. And unlike a doctor's office, we're not actually counting the rate, but we are feeling the texture of the blood underneath our fingers. So I know that sounds, again, really strange, but sometimes we'll feel someone's pulse and we'll say that it feels wiry. It feels like you're plucking a guitar string. Whereas someone else's pulse might feel slippery. That pulse it feels like I'm feeling pearls that are covered with oil. Okay, so I know that sounds very descriptive, but again, we go through school and training to figure out what pulses feel like. And I will personally check the pulse periodically throughout the treatment, because if I affected a positive change, it's going to change. It's actually going to get stronger. It's going to feel more even. And but if it doesn't change, it means I did nothing. And we work really hard to not do nothing. We really, really try to improve your well-being. So your tongue and pulse will give us diagnostic information. And then with all the information that we have, we'll come up with a point prescription. Where should we put these needles to be most effective for your body? How can we make you feel better? How can we help alleviate your symptoms? How can we bring more balance to your body? So these are just some points that we do. Like stomach 36 is actually located just below your knee. It's a great digestive point. It's a great energy point. CV12 is almost right under your breastbone. That's going to help actually harmonize your stomach, bring some, harmony there. And then we have all these other points, and these are just a couple that we would use for digestion. So just to give you an example, digestion is one of the, pain is number one. Digestion is probably up there with helping people with acupuncture. And I had someone who came in and she had, let's see. Yeah, she came in with bloating and irregular bowel movements. But I saw her 4 times and we were able to reduce her stress. A lot of her digestion was stress related. Like she would just feel nauseated when she, had a work deadline or she was trying to run on no sleep. And all these things were going on, affecting her digestion. But after 4 sessions, like I saw her 4 times and she was able to have regular bowel movements every day, and they were good. They were, it's funny. I spend so much of my time talking about poop, but it really is important because your poop is an indicator of your health, That's why they changed the guidelines for you to have a colonoscopy at 45 as opposed to 50, because so much of your health is in your gut and it's reflected in your poop, So if you have any questions, we appreciate you coming here. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. And we're right at Bridge Acupuncture is right at West State Street. Misuk and I can be contacted by phone or by email. Our email is just our first name at bridgeacupuncture.com. And we just thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. Yeah, I'm gonna just stop the recording. If anybody has any extra questions that you want to ask, you can do that. I'm just gonna stop the recording.
Filling out the card.
I wasn't there. I was.
Did you help him, like,
Oh, with acupuncture?
yeah,
Yeah. Well,
did you agree to it?
of course. Funny. No, he did, but he was in that much pain that he did agree to it.
Like, I'm not giving my.
Oh, thank you. Oh, did anyone have more needles?
Right here.
I just put, thank you.
Andrea, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm so glad you guys came today. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Good to see you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Oh, there it is.
Thank you very much, you guys.
Thank you. Nice group of people.
It was. And